Oh, we gotta get over here.
You're on TV.
Oh.
We're gonna do it that way. Good. Well, first of all, we have a few handouts, and Vanna's gonna hand some of these out for me.
Good, Vanna.
Now you see how much fun we have at work? Can't complain. Well, actually, today, there are two areas that I really want to focus on, and the two areas that we're going to be focusing on are business accounts as well as home equity lines of credit. And the reason for that, of course, is, we are a full-service bank, as I always mention, and we do a lot of things. But those two items are really what we're looking for as far as for our downtown market to increase our market share. As far as business accounts, we have a handout that was passed around, and all the business deposits, first of all, accounts that are non-interest bearing, and many of you may know this and some may not, but the balances in those non-interest bearing deposit accounts are fully FDIC insured. I don't care if you have $100 in there or $100 million in there. It is completely FDIC insured as long as it is non-interest bearing. So a lot of times some businesses are concerned that if they have too much in those accounts, the 250 limit, that they're not going to be insured and they have to go open up an account at another bank. That is not the case with business non-interest bearing accounts. If it was, these big multi-million corporations would have accounts scattered all over the country. The accounts that we're going to focus on today are the free business checking accounts, business checking, and the preferred business checking. We also have what we call a commercial analysis account. That is for businesses that have a lot of transactions going through it. But for the most part, what I'm looking for are those businesses that would normally fall in the first three categories. If there are businesses that fall in the analysis account, that's even better for me. But those are far and few in between. The free business account, which you hear me talk about all the time, pretty much has no monthly fee, no minimum balance requirement, free online banking with bill pay. There is no monthly fee for your Visa debit card for your business accounts. And we also offer a great product for the employees of those businesses, which is the Workplace Solutions. And you've heard Scooter and I talk about that. They get a free account. They get an ATM card that they could use at the Publix Presto machines, which are free due to the fact that we only have maybe 6 branches in this area. They also get refunds on the foreign ATM fee transactions up to 3
Up to 3.
Up to 3 a month. So there's a lot of other benefits that go with that. The business checking account, basically that one is for businesses that have a little bit more moderate level of transactions, maybe a few more debits and credit transactions going through. So for those, we will pay for up to the first 250, there is no charge. And that, of course, is 125 debits and 125 credits. Also with that one, you can avoid the monthly fee of $15 with a minimum balance of $2,500 or a monthly average of $5,000. So you can see that's a little bit more for that mid-sized company that may have a few more transactions going through it, but we don't want to put them into the analysis account because that's a little bit too expensive for them. So we raise the minimum amount for the number of transactions that can run through it. So they get up to 250 free transactions. And they also get the no monthly fee Visa business debit card, the free online banking, and the workplace accounts that are eligible for themselves as well as their employees. The other one that we have is a preferred business checking account. Now that account, we like to call it our menu account with cash management. It's kind of the account that falls into place before you get to that top tier commercial analysis account. With that account, you have up to 400 transactions, no charge. The nice thing with that account is that it works almost like the analysis account where you can add treasury management services if it's applicable to your business, such as sweep. Some businesses may want to do online wires. So we have the online wire platform that can be attached to that account. Also, some may want to do direct deposit or payroll. So it offers the ACH capabilities. And with that account, basically you don't fall into the big account where the fees may be a little bit higher, but offset by the balances in those big accounts. Maybe the balances in this ones are not as large, but it also gives you the analysis that you can offset those fees. The other thing that I want to get into is the home equity lines of credit. Basically, we do all types of loans, but the ones that I'm going to talk about today are the home equity lines. And if you flip to the back, it just gives you a few little pointers as to our home equity line of credit. With our home equity line of credit, I mean, some people say, well, you can use the line. I always explain to some folks, to simplify it, it works like a revolving credit card, except it's a line of credit that is tied to your home. You can use it for whatever your needs are. Debt consolidation, college expenses, refinancing, home improvements, whatever, purchasing a vehicle, any type of an emergency. It's sitting there. The nice thing is, of course, that the rates are much lower than a credit card would be. Okay, and you can tap into it anytime you want, up of course to the limit that you've been approved. The key selling points with the Synovus home equity lines, because a lot of banks are doing home equity lines out there, but the key points with ours is that Synovus will pay up to the first $2,000 in the closing cost. You have, of course, you have your intangible, your dot stamps that the state of Florida requires. You'll have the recording for the mortgage title. You may have other fees in there, such as maybe if an appraisal is needed and so forth. For loans of $250,000 and less, the $2,000 usually pretty much covers all those expenses, so there's no out-of-pocket expense for you. If the loans are usually over $250,000, we'll pay the first $2,000, and you may see just minimal, maybe a couple $100 in additional fees, and that's mainly due to the doc stamps and intangibles, which are going to be higher for a $250,000 loan. Our rates right now, the floor rate with the best debt to income, the best loan to value, which is based on your equity, and the best credit score that you would have, your floor rate would be 3.25, which is prime, which is a very good rate.
A 30-year fixed?
10-year, no, these are not mortgages, these are home equity lines. The home, and we'll get into a little bit more down here. These are 10-year draw lines, okay? So with this line, it's interest only that is required. If you want to make a principal reduction payment, you can, but it's interest only, and they are a 10-year draw. So at the end of the 10 years, it's renegotiated. You're paying as agreed, we'll just renew it for another 10 years. We may ask for updated financials, just to make sure in this market that we're not going to be underwater with the collateral that we have, but they just renew. If there's been any situation, we'll just term it out for you. We'll put it on a principal and interest reduction. But the 30 years those are your typical 15, 30 years, those are first mortgages. The home equity lines are usually a max of 10 years. We did have a 15-year product a couple years back, but now we're just capping it at the 10 years. Again, interest only payment requirements, so you can always reduce your principal, but it gives you that flexibility if you get into a crunch in this month. The only requirement is the interest. And they can be accessed with a plastic card, looks like a debit card. You can write checks. You can email Scooter, myself. You can call us and say, hey, Norma, tap my line for $1,000, $5,000, and we'll just put it into your checking account. And pretty much any questions? I know we're running a little bit, but we've got a quick game.
Well,
No, go
do
ahead.
your game, I'll do the
No.
question
No,
after.
go ahead.
Go for it. Well, we might answer your question and our question. Because guess what? It's pop quiz day all around. Not only did John have some stuff for you, but I got some stuff for you.
Here's a general positioning question. What advantages, if any, that you see by us referring a business client back or a client to you? I mean, you and I talked about this a little bit on Friday, but there's an advantage for every one of us to get somebody from a business banker. What would that advantage be?
Oh, well, first off, how many here can email their banker and know that it's going to be done within 10 to 15 minutes?
Can you even get a hold of your banker?
Yeah, I can.
I can't, Scooter. That's you.
Exactly.
You can email me or call me and do business by phone or email, which this day and age, sure, there's the mobile banking apps where you can scan your check and get that in. But I'm perfectly honest, I'd be terrified to scan a check to my phone for it, just with the cybersecurity that's out there nowadays and the different things that are going on. but you have full service contact that you truly can, if you're not able to get to your